Hi, you guys. This is Renata. I was looking at my YouTube video page and I realized that I had not done a video specifically talking about targeting in about 3 or 4 months. And I know that people have noticed that my channel has changed and that I don't talk about targeting as much as I used to, but I talk about other things. And the reason that is because I realize that targeting is bondage. We are playing into their hands when we live, breathe, eat, and sleep targeting all day long, 7 days a week. They followed me here. They did this to me. They did that to me. And I'm guilty of it. And I have done that for years. But I'm waking up from that. And I'm coming out of what I consider to be the TI matrix. That's what it is. It's a matrix inside of a matrix, actually, because the world is in a matrix and then the TIs are in a whole separate matrix. So I'm coming out of that. I'm coming out of that because we have to beat them at their own game. That's just the bottom line. We have to take everything they're throwing at us and work it to our advantage and come out of that bondage. And I know I'm making it sound easy, but it's not. But nothing is impossible and nothing's too hard for God. And I just got to the point where I am not going to give them 100% of my thoughts and 100% of my energy. And like the saying goes, where your thoughts go, your energy flows. And I'm not willing to give them all of my energy, all of my time, all of my conversation, all of my thoughts. I've done that for too many years. There's a whole world out there, whole world. And I'm interested in learning the truths of this world. And I'm never going to learn them always talking about and living targeting. Now, the targeting, if I know these demons like I think I know these demons, it's going to be there. So I will cross those bridges when I get to them. But we have got to stop giving them all of our energy. That's exactly what they want. And when we do that, we are being kept down and our growth is being stagnated and will never progress to our true potential because we're living in a box. They have us in a box, in a small box at that. It's all about targeting. It's all about mind control. Well, let me tell you, when we're giving all of our time and all of our energy and all of our efforts to them, that is mind control. That is mind control, and that's what they want. So, how do you come out of it when the targeting is constantly in your face? It may not be easy, but it's possible. And when you have some downtime, don't give it all to them. Of course, we need to do our research. Of course, we do. Most TIs have done that. But every single waking moment, no. I can't do it anymore. So that's why you see my channel changing. I have a lot of interests. I have a lot of things that I want to talk about. I have a lot of things I want to research. And like I said, I'm trying to come into the truth. I'm trying to, and a lot of times the truth is right there in our face, but we can't see it because we're in our own little TI world. And that's exactly where they want us. They're trying to keep us from the truth, trying to keep us from progressing and just trying to keep us down. And everything that these people put before us is that low vibrational stuff. It's fear, it's confusion, it's depression, it's drugs, it's alcohol, it's conflict everywhere. We have to come out of that as best as we can. We have to take every single thing that's coming our way and somehow overcome it or work it to our advantage or learn how to ignore it or do something. Because we got to come out of that. We really, really do. Hopefully everybody realizes that whoever is on top of this pyramid matrix thing that's trying to control all of us, they study our strengths and they exploit our weaknesses. They already know what you're good at, your strong points. They know your weaknesses, and they exploit those weaknesses, and they put them back in your face time and time and time again in order to break you down. So if we want to beat them at their own game, we need to study our own strengths and our own weaknesses the way they have done it, because we all have shortcomings. None of us are perfect. I have a lot of things I'm working on. But if we're just walking around in fear and depressed and all that stuff, which is going to happen, I'm not saying, that we're superhuman and we're not going to feel those feelings, of course, because of everything that's happening with us. But if we want to beat them at their own game, we need to take everything they're doing to us and we need to turn it around and strengthen ourselves in those areas. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm going through in my life right now. I'm taking the time to identify the areas that I feel I need to strengthen so that they can't affect me that way anymore. So when they try to do this or say that or come at me that way, it's not going to work because I have strengthened myself in that area. And that's called coming out of that victim mentality. We don't have to play the victim. Yes, what they're doing is victimizing us, is very wrong, it's not right, but we don't have to sit there and just watch it happen. We can allow God to do a building up process on us. And that's where I am. I am trying to strengthen myself. I'm trying to come into some serious knowledge because there's a lot of truth out there. And the Bible tells us that the truth is going to set us free. So we'll never be free until we come into the truth. And there's a lot of truth that has been revealed since we have become TIs. But there's a lot more out there. And there's a lot of things that I'm interested in learning more about. And that's what you're beginning to see on my channel. Sun Tzu, is that his name? The Art of War. Sun Tzu, I believe is his name. He talks about knowing your enemy. He said in order to win any war, mental or physical war, the number one rule is you have to know your enemy. And that's what we as TIs need to do. We need to know who we're dealing with. This is a real demonic program. Very demonic. So we have to learn how to navigate around all of this demonic stuff and all this low vibrational stuff that just wants to keep us oppressed and keep us in this little box. We can do it because we could do all things through Christ who gives us strength. There's nothing that we can't do. I was talking to someone one time and she was understandably depressed, going through it, as being a TI, we do. We go through it. It's real. There's a lot coming against us. But she had zero hope. Zero. None. Zero. And that's just reality for a lot of us TIs. Again, I understand it, but we got to come out of that because we're playing into their hands. When we start to change our thought process, things change. And what I'm noticing is that the situation around me is pretty much the same. But I have a different kind of mental freedom than I've ever had. I'm learning to rise above. There are still things that get to me with the targeting, don't get me wrong, but I'm learning to rise above. I'm learning to pick my battles, and that's what we have to do. I'm learning to move on. I'm showing them you can't have my every waking thought. It's not going to happen. It happened for too many years. I still do my calls on Sundays. I still talk to TIs on the phone and texts and emails and all of that, but my every waking thought is no longer them. It's no longer them. I'm trying to get somewhere, and I'm never going to get there allowing them to hold me down. Obstacles in the way, all of that. Yep, I'm learning how to go around them. Some of them, the ones that I can't go around, I'm learning to accept the things I can't change. But I'm still going to do the things that I enjoy doing. I'm going to be very present in my own life. And that's what we have to do as TIs. We cannot give all of our power away. So I would suggest that TIs make a list, and it could be a mental list because I know, about writing things down. Some people are not comfortable with that. But just kind of um, self-reflect and just think about some of the things that really bother you or is really hard for you to deal with the targeting. It could be family situations. That's a big one. It could be uh, the synchronizing that they do. It could be the colors. It could be whatever. I know I always deal with the heavy police presence, whatever. Think about those things and really work extremely hard on overcoming them. And one of the things you can do to overcome them is to expose yourself to it as long as it's not going to harm you. Now, if it's something that's going to harm you, do not expose yourself to it. Period. That's not what I'm saying. But for me, I'm into exposing myself to things because I know that the same repetition that they do with us over and over and over, if I do that too, if I just expose it to myself over and over and over, I'm getting over it. It's not gonna bother me as much. Some of it's not gonna bother me at all anymore if I keep exposing myself to it. But some of it may still bother me a little, but I'm over it. And my number one rule for myself is it can bother me, it can scare me, it can startle me, it can make me depressed, but it's not gonna stop me. It's not gonna stop me because I don't do well with these people trying to control my life. And so that's where we have to come to. And also do the opposite of what they would expect. They expect you to stay in the house out of fear. They expect you to run the opposite direction when you see this coming or that about to happen. Do the opposite. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself every day. When you make that mental list of the things you want to work on, make it a challenge for the day. And if it doesn't work the first time, keep challenging yourself until you get better with it. We have to stand up to these bullies. We've got to. They expect us to live a life of fear. The fear is what's controlling us. That's what's controlling this whole world, fear. The fear of this might happen, that might happen, this might happen. Well, you know what? Cross those bridges when you get to them. Put your life in God's hands and go on with your life. Live the very best life you possibly can under the circumstances. And I know that some people have really bad circumstances. I'm not trying to minimize anybody's experience because I know how it is as a target. But live your best life possible. Eliminate those things that are not good for you, that are not healthy for you. If you're drinking, you're doing drugs, whatever you're doing, okay, you got that man, that woman that you know is not good for you, whatever the situation may be. Okay, I have my own struggles I'm trying to work on. But whatever it is, try to eliminate those things. Toxic people, eliminate them. I've had to do it. I've had to do it. It's sad, it's hard, it's hurtful, it's lonely, it's all of that. But it's the best thing for me. It's the best thing for me. That's what I decided. That I can no longer allow myself to deal with toxic people. I'm not going to do it. I'm in a fight for my life every day. I'm not going to do it. As hurtful as it is, I just have to cherish the memories of the better days because I can't do it. So if you need to eliminate people, only you know that. Have you guys ever heard of the no contact rule? No contact rule means you have decided for whatever reason, it could be an ex, boyfriend or girlfriend, husband or wife, whatever. Any kind of abusive relationship, any kind of toxic people, as I was just saying. For whatever reason, you have decided this person or these people are not good for me. I'm upset every time I'm around them. They get me out of character. I know they're perping me. I know for sure they're perping me or whatever. Whatever reason you decide, I have to get stronger. And I'm not my strongest self when I'm around these people or around this person. And I know that it's going to be hard for me to get away from this person because maybe you're financially dependent on them. Maybe they've been in your life all along. Maybe they're a parent. Maybe they're a sibling, somebody close. Maybe you don't want to be lonely and that's your only friend. But you know, deep down inside, that person or those people are not good for you. So sometimes we have to make the decision that I'm going to separate myself. And I'm going to do the best I can to stick with my decision to separate myself from the situation because I know that I will not evolve as a person if I'm around those people. Okay. I've had to make that decision several times actually since being targeted. So, what the no contact rule means is you've made that decision and you're not going to be in contact with them, period. That means no telephone calls, no emails, no social media. They're getting blocked on everything. No sending messages to them through another person. No checking their social media, even if you're not talking to them, you just sliding by to see, what they're talking about. Nothing. You're not sitting in front of their house. You're not communicating with them. And if you should happen to run into them somewhere, like I have, because mine were relatives that I decided no contact because they're in on my targeting, and I'm positive of it. But there have been occasions where I had to be around them. And I was just cordial. I was just cordial. I was not nasty. I was just cordial. And once the visit was over, and this was because another family member was sick, and that's how we all ended up together. And once the visit was over, I went back to no contact because I know it's best for me. It's not me trying to be nasty. I'm not going to feel bad about it because I have to take care of me. So, what I'm trying to say is sometimes we have to make hard decisions to take care of ourselves. We are in a very fragile situation. A lot of us are. It's the craziest experience that any of us have probably ever gone through. And we have to do whatever we have to do to survive. And part of that survival for me is gaining knowledge, gaining the real knowledge of this world. And the Bible tells us there's nothing hidden that won't be revealed. And a lot of things are being revealed, but it's going right over our heads because we're so focused on this targeted individual thing, which by the way, they probably gave us that label, you know? So this is why you see my channel changing. I hope you guys stick with me on this journey. I don't know where it's going to take me, but I have a serious desire to know the truth about everything, as scary and as deep as I'm sure that is, because it is deep. The truth is deep, but I need the truth. I don't want to live a life of lies. There's a lot of demonic stuff going on out here, a lot of it. And a lot of it is playing into our targeting. There's witchcraft involved in this mess. Of course, we know there's mind control. There's the devil himself involved in this targeting stuff. And I want to know the truth. And I've always been a truth seeker. But that part of me has been repressed, partially because I don't honestly know if I'm ready for the real truth. Because I think it's deeper because our government is light years ahead of what they're actually sharing with us. I mean, light years. There's some stuff out there that will blow our minds. Some of it I believe, and some of it I don't. And so I'm just trying to figure out what's truth for me, because everybody's truth is going to be different. I talk to some people, the stuff they say, it's just like so far fetched for me. But it doesn't mean that it's not true. It just means that it doesn't resonate with me at that time. But I can remember people sharing things with me a long, long time ago before I even knew about targeting. And I was like, I don't believe that stuff. Well, now I do. Some of that stuff I do. So it's just important for me, and it's probably not important for everyone to seek the truth and to want to know about certain subject matters. But it's becoming more important for me, and so that's where I'm at. Um, I hope that you guys, excuse me, I hope you guys find the truth for yourself. Excuse me. I hope that you realize that focusing on targeting 24/7 is mind control, and it is where they want us. I hope that you take this opportunity to strengthen yourself. Be brave enough to face tomorrow, because you can. Hold your head up when you walk. Be confident when you talk to people. Don't let people push you over or bully you. These are all the things that I'm learning. I am learning. Learn to assert yourself. Know that you deserve everything that God has for you. And everything that everybody else has, you deserve it. And you can get it. You can. They have it in our heads that we can't do this. Oh, they're stopping that. They're blocking that. Yeah, they do. They have for me too. But when one door closes, windows open. That's what I'm experiencing. And I'm learning that some of the things that I did not get that I wanted was because I wasn't supposed to have them, or I wasn't supposed to have them at that time, because God had another plan for my life. All I'm saying is we need to, I can't even put into words, because it's a process that God is taking me through. And I'm sure he's done for many of you as well. So it's hard to kind of just put it all in words, but just trust the process. Give your life to God. Put your life in his hands and trust the process. That's all I can tell you. Trust the process. We have to go through some things. We have to. Nobody gets a free ride through this life. Nobody, targeted person or not. We have got to go through some things. But it's all supposed to work together for our good. That's what the Bible tells us. And like my husband told me, and I may have said this on another video, a car cannot run with just a positive battery. It needs a positive and a negative before that engine will crank up. And that's true. We have to have that good and that bad in our lives. Not saying that God brought this targeting on any of you. All I'm saying is take this opportunity in your life to work out everything you need to work out to become the strongest you that you can be, and learn the truth that's out there, because that's what's going to set us free. Thank you for listening, you guys. God bless everybody, and stay strong.